Hi, welcome to this part of my review featuring Dames of Astoria, the core rulebook. If you haven't seen the other parts of my review, featuring this fantasy RPG, where you play as monster girls that are not fully accepted in their world, where they have all sorts of adventures, please check out the playlist in the description below. This time we are going to talk about the socioeconomics and life of Astoria. The people of Astoria fall into various social classes. While each country and political power has its own class systems with specific titles, ranks, and protocols, each of them can fall into generalized classes. These social classes are the ruling class. This class is the highest social class. It includes royalty and elected officials, as well as certain high-ranking aristocrats. In the Kingdom of Astoria, the only people acknowledged as part of the ruling class are the royal family of Astoria, the pontifex of the Church of Sequarius, and the greater nobles. All members of the ruling class from other communities and countries are only considered part of the aristocracy in the eyes of the Astorian kingdom. Then we have the aristocracy. They are members of the higher classes, but do not have any rights to rule or govern directly. Then we have the merchant class. This is where the majority of merchants, traders, religious leaders, and other non-lower class individuals reside. Following that, we have the lower class. The lower class is the common people of the world: farmers, servants, workers, and everyone else with rights and self-autonomy. Next, we have the serfs and the slaves. This is the lowest class of people in the world. The serfs and slaves are generally not considered people, but items and tools to be used as needed and desired, as the serfs and slaves have no form of autonomy and no rights to their being. In the Kingdom of Astoria, demi-fauna are automatically considered a part of this class until proven otherwise. When it comes to slavery in the world of Astoria, while to some slavery is an abominable practice that should never exist, to others it is a way of life, a necessary evil, or even a divine and just retribution for sins past. In the Kingdom of Astoria, the act of slavery is outlawed by royal decree. This outlaw took place as the result of the Slime Mimic War and the heroism of the 6 dames. However, reality is often darker than the pleasantries of paper. While legally slavery has been outlawed, serfdom was not. The other dark reality is that the ban of slavery was only ever enforced for the few human slaves in Astoria. The trading and ownership of demi-fauna simply became a part of the criminal underworld, ignored and unenforced by the powers that be. The Alphavan Kingdom views slavery as a disgusting act and banned in all aspects of buying and selling people as commodities, including serfs. Unfortunately, while the commerce of people is outlawed, the Alphavan Kingdom does not forcefully release slaves and serfs who enter their lands. Let's take a moment to talk about the currency of Astoria. These are quarries. They come in 3 denominations to indicate the amount of quarries they are worth. Bronze are worth 1 quarry, silver are worth 10, and gold are worth 100 quarries. Due to the dangers of traveling and the fact that some chimera are only harmed by silver or gold, quarries are shaped like sling bullets to work as last-ditch weapons for unlucky travelers. That's quite practical. In the Kant Empire to the south, the institution of slavery as known to the rest of the world is not recognized and strictly prohibited. However, criminals and prisoners of war find themselves imprisoned and used for hard and dangerous labor. The Harpy homelands are another land that also does not recognize or care for slavery. Unlike the Kant Empire though, they do not use criminals or prisoners of war for labor either. The United Federation of Isles has taken a stance of non-commitment to slavery. While the act of slaving Federation citizens is outlawed, the buying, selling, and trading of slaves is heavily practiced in many port towns and cities. The Federation has one of the largest hands in the slave industry. In the Arthron Empire, the labels of slavery are reserved primarily for captured humans to be used as breeding stock and food. However, culturally the people of the Arthron Empire serve to further the goals of the empire, willingly and enthusiastically working themselves as if they were slaves. The Isbirki Republic staunchly outlaws slavery of any kind on their lands, going as far to declare all slaves and serfs on their soils free people. Additionally, while the Isbirki Republic allows for the use of labor as a form of punishment for criminals, this is not as harsh, being heavily monitored and restricted. Concerning crime in the world of Astoria, crime, like any other industry, depends on the market it finds itself in. While it would be inaccurate to say that crime does not exist in most regions of the world, outside of the bigger cities and trade routes, the majority of crime could be classified as common or petty. On the major trade routes, far outside of towns, there are many locations known for banditry and highway robbery, and even piracy. Larger cities tend to find themselves steeped in organized crime, where large organizations or syndicates practice smuggling, bribing, illegal slavery, drugs, weapons, and anything else deemed outlawed. Life in Astoria can be both difficult and dangerous for the common folk. There are deadly and vicious chimera who can rend steel with their claws, bandits, criminals, and slave traders, lords who demand taxes and who conscript their people into armies, and natural disasters such as floods, droughts, or storms. However, despite all the dangers and hardships, many people find purpose to their lives, farming, trading, crafting, or otherwise ilking out a living. The world of Astoria brings many benefits and wonders, despite its dangers. There is magic and mystery to be explored, and glory to be obtained. Even the demifauna, often treated as grotesque and subhuman monsters, can find the opportunity and the means to live a life of their choosing, provided they overcome the challenges and dangers along the way. And this concludes this part of the review. In the next part, we are going to talk about the history of Astoria. As you can see, this is a very challenging, perhaps a bit bleak setting. It's not going to be easy for the player characters, considering they are demifauna, to carve their path into well-being, prosperity, and perhaps even legend. Thank you for watching this part of the review, and thank you for your likes and your comments. If you have any questions or comments, please let me know. And thank you so much to those of you that are going the extra mile to support the channel. If anyone else wishes to further support the channel, the information on how to do that will be in the description below. Once again, thank you, and see you later.